joining us, we have Dan Meyer from the Boone Area Chamber of Commerce. And Dan's a pretty happy guy today. Got his Kentucky hat on, ready for tonight.
Hey, you got to wear it when you have the chance.
That's right.
I may not be wearing it next week,
We'll
but
see.
they have come along,
They
haven't
have.
they?
Very exciting
I guess
game.
I have to take that off in the house, don't I? So I'll put it. Whoops.
We can set it out on the table.
No, I want to put it right there, so at least it gets a little bit of
Yeah.
TV coverage. But somebody said, I didn't know you went to Kentucky. Well, when you spend half your life in school, you can wear a lot of different hats.
That's right.
I will say, if Kentucky or Ohio State were not there, I'd be pulling for one of the ACC teams, or any ACC team, actually. I'm not one of those anybody but type of guys. I love because I love the conference. So, but anyway, I'm pulling for the Cats tonight, no question about it. Yeah. Let me share a couple things coming up. Next week, Thursday, I know you can't see that back there. Yeah, well, maybe you can. Next week, Thursday, is our Business After Hours. This is our April Business After Hours. We do these every month during the year. Great time for business networking. And this is a very special one because it's at Caldwell Community College and Technical Institute. This is their 50th year. They'll be celebrating their 50th year next week at this meeting. They will also be celebrating a new building that they've got on campus. And so it's going to be a big kind of joint after hours. And many of our people here in the high country have benefited from training and some of the schooling and certificates that they can get and associate degrees that they can get and special skills training and continuing education, all of those things that are possible through Caldwell Community College and Technical Institute. So their food service group is going to be providing the food. One of their viticulture programs, another community college viticulture program, will be providing some wine tasting. And there'll be some great giveaways. They're giving away, let's see here, a stay at Charleston at the Fairfield Inn and Suites, which is great. A weekend stay here in La Quinta, at La Quinta. If you have guests coming in, you might want to get involved in that. And 4 tickets to the ASU Summer Outdoor Concert, which will be coming up in July. So some great giveaways. Now, who's coming? This is for businesses. This is certainly for our members, but we would encourage you, if you're a business in town, you're not a member of the chamber, we'd still love to have you come as a guest. But if you would like to come, please give us a call at the chamber so that we can put enough beans in the pot. Call us at 264-2225. And then I would coming up, and keep on your radar, May 1st is the Boone Business Expo at the mall. The mall has, again, graciously provided the venue for us. Wonderful event. We already have close to 40 booths. We got a month to go yet, just about. And so we're looking for a great turnout. Our automobile dealers are going to have cars out there too. And so a lot of businesses will be there. And we encourage you to come by. It's from 10 to 5 on the 1st, Thursday the 1st. And learn about the businesses in the community. It's a great way, if you are a business, to be able to tell folks what you do and what you sell. It is a selling and telling show this year for the first time. It's always been a telling show. This year we've opened it up to be a selling show as well. So if you have an interest in that, call us at the chamber. Again, 264-2225. By the way, you just were telling me you went to Caldwell.
I did. I graduated from Caldwell.
Great.
I got my associate in art there, and I am finishing up at Liberty University.
Well, super.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Be done in
That's
December,
great.
and I'm ready.
But it's a great place to get started, and especially for the student who kind of not quite sure what they want to do, even to be able to take some introductory courses, or if you have a particular turn on, something that really grabs you, like you want to get into automobiles or you want to get into carpentry or those kind of things. Great skill development programs that they have available there, and many here, and also many down on the Lenore or Hudson campus, I guess they call it now. So, great partner with us. I want to share with you 6 common business mistakes. Okay, mistakes are things we hopefully learn from. And we hopefully pass them along so people can avoid them, as well. Number 1, don't put off tracking minor expenses. Very important to keep track of those expenses. Legitimate business expenses are tax deductible. And who knows how much you might leave on the table because you didn't list it. Because you didn't remember it, because you didn't write it down. I had the wonderful joy of doing my own taxes a couple weeks ago, and I got a call from Ty Darner over at JPS. He said, Dan, he said, did you do any travel for any of the medical expenses that you had? I said, oh, let me think about that. Because we think, well, I'm just here, I just went to the doctor's office here, and you know, what didn't amount to much. But I forgot that we went to Winston twice, and that included a meal. And those are legitimate deductions in terms of medical expenses. But we hadn't kept track of it. So it's important to keep track of those minor expenses because they can add up and they become an asset to you when it comes to taxes. Or it also can become a kind of a reminder to you that, hey, I don't want to do that again because this activity is not beneficial to do. So keep track of the minor things. Don't ignore those little things. Think about this. We've talked about in the past, we haven't, but people do, about how much it costs, for instance, if you smoke. If you smoke a pack a day, what does that cost you? If you have 2 beers a day, what does that cost you? If you eat lunch out every day, how much does that cost you?
Quite a bit.
I mean, figure it up in your head. If you spend $5, you can't hardly get lunch for $5. Let's just say you spend $5. That's $25 a week. Mm-hmm. That's $750, almost $1,000 a year that you'll spend on eating your lunches out. Maybe I'll bring a sandwich tomorrow.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing. So keep track of the minor expenses because they do mount up. And you get to the end of the month and you say, well, where did it all go? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, let's see. I went out and I had one of them super high priced, skinny, tall, whatever, you know, those special coffees, drinks. And you're talking $4, $5 for a cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
And it adds up. Now, periodic indulgence, you know, but remember that it adds up. Number 2, sometimes we keep secrets that don't help us, and we don't share secrets that could help us. Unless you have a real proprietary patent or process or something like that, probably a good idea to keep your staff and your suppliers and your clients in the loop of some of those things. We often think, well, that's just me. I don't want to share that. I don't want to share the fact that, you know what, we've gotten a good result by advertising on MTN 18. I don't want to share that with anybody because I don't want my competitors to know, or I did this and I don't want them to know. I mean, it doesn't gain us anything. And in some cases, somebody might say, hey, I appreciate you sharing that. Let me share this with you. And you get the benefit of something that they've been hanging on to. So unless it's something that really could cost you money, has hard cost to it, there's probably not a good idea just to hang on to all those secrets. That's what networking is about, for me to be able to say to you, hey, have you thought, are you coming to the expo?
I am.
Oh, see there? Now, that's a good thing. But if I'd have just said, well, I'm going to the expo, but I sure don't want her to know about that. Well, what am I gaining? And the reality is, if you look at automobile dealers, if you look at fast foods, where do they put themselves? Where do they locate?
Places that are convenient for people.
Convenient and right next to another dealer or right next to a fast food, because there's cross-pollination, for want of a better term.
Right.
And so watch the secrets. Number 3, don't put off hiring staff or outsourcing activities. Right now, there are many businesses out there that could very comfortably take on a part-time person, to add efficiencies to operation, to better cover hours. Listen, if you're paying overtime hours, you're much better off to hire a part-timer who can fill some of those hours. And then as demand increases, then you can add to their hours as well. Because that time and a half person is costing you a lot more than having that other one there. Or think about this, are there ways that I can free up my operation, by outsourcing something to somebody else? Now, I could spend hours trying to figure out graphic design and putting together an advertising program for our website. But guess what? We've got members who do that. And so we contracted with one of our members to run that sales program for us and design on the computer for a commission, as opposed, it's not a salary, it's a commission. So the more they sell, guess what? The more they make. And it's not something that we have to be concerned with in terms of payroll and benefits and all those things. At some point, might we have a webmaster for the chamber? Who knows? It's very possible. Might we have a full-time person to go out and sell memberships? Very possibly. But in the meantime, it's much more cost-effective for us to have somebody who can do it for us and not try to just put it on top of everything else that one of us is doing. Because you've only got so many hours in a day. Right. So don't put off that outsourcing or that part-time person. Another thing, too often we neglect the numbers. Here's a question for anybody in business out there. How much is it costing you to run your company today? What did today cost you to run your company? Interesting question. Or this week. How much did it cost you to make the money you made? You know, that's what you talked, I think, a couple weeks about cash flow. You know, that's the important thing. Watch those numbers. Watch those numbers. What return did you get on your investment? If you start something, or if you a new program, or if you invest in advertising, are you getting any return on it? Have you built in something that you know you have a return? Don't just aim at everything. Just don't, because you'll hit it every time. You've heard that expression. So don't neglect the numbers. Fifth, be sure you don't, this is a double negative. One of the other problems is we don't hold staff accountable to do what they're supposed to do. We kind of let things slide too long, and then it's difficult to get things back under control. Now, the other part of that is you have to have realistic expectations. They have to be written down somewhere, hopefully, so the employee knows exactly what they are accountable for. Or they could easily say, well, you really didn't tell me I had to do that. It's not that I wouldn't, but I didn't know that. So be willing to hold your staff accountable. Have a job description and quantify what they're doing. And lastly, don't be too risk averse. Now, you businesses out there, you've already made a huge risk. You've already extended a huge risk by just starting your business. I was watching last night, they had this food court wars, where these two groups, two food court, they were going at it. They were going at it, and the winner was going to win a 1-year lease in a mall for their food store. That's a huge risk that they even got into the competition, but it's a risk to start a business. But don't be risk averse, because there are opportunities that come up that you may need to take advantage of. When a door opens, often a good idea to at least get your foot in and examine it, and then if it really looks good, step in. Now remember this, we all know this, if it looks too good to be true or sounds too good to be, it probably is. So don't get caught into those quick get rich, those kind of things. But adjust your attitude toward risk, as opposed to saying, I'm just going to keep it all right here. You know, I'm not going to do anything new, not going to do anything different. These are tough times. It's the people who are taking those risks, and they may just be small risks, who are really benefiting from this economy.
Right.
You know, poor economy. I don't know if I can spend money on advertising. Well, how are people supposed to know what you do if you don't advertise? That's a risk. Look for the return on your investment, though, but take those risks. And I think some of those things will help your business to thrive. It keeps us really in touch with a variety of different things. It keeps keeps us on track with expenses, those little things. Keeps us on track with who we are and what we share with people. It keeps us on track with our staffing issues and HR issues. It keeps us on track in terms of overall numbers and operating expenses. Keeps us on track with keeping our staff doing their thing, doing the things they need to do. And it really focuses our attention on taking that next little risk for the future. If you don't take any risk for the future, You know, that's what we do in a lot of different areas. Is we take out insurance, we put in savings. That's all for the future. So be willing to examine, and then if a door opens, then seize the opportunity and see if it won't be an advantage to your business. So
Definitely great points there.
well, appreciate the opportunity to be here again. Don't forget Business After Hours next week, Thursday at Caldwell Community College up on 105 Extension. They got a great campus up there. A lot of people don't know it's even there.
Right.
You
It's kind of tucked up.
Incredible
hill.
views off the back, too.
Yes.
And then don't forget May 1st, Thursday, May 1st, the Boone Business Expo at the Boone Mall.
Absolutely.
Right, sounds great. Well, thank you for coming in, Dan. Lots of great information as always, and we will look forward to talking with you next week. And we'll talk about the game next week, too.
Go
We'll
Cats.
see how things go. Absolutely. And we'll be back right after these messages with more of the Mountain Television Network.